Hi, everyone. We are going to talk about the technology of Skype tonight. My name is Ryan Bosky Cox.
Debbie Ensley.
Mani Valuru.
Wesley Smith.
Okay. Has anybody in here ever used Skype? Wow, lots of people. So you guys already know what we're going to talk about a little bit anyhow. Skype is an online communication tool that can be used with any device that has internet access, desktop computers, laptops, smartphones, and even televisions. You can communicate via voice, video, or instant messaging, and it is a free download. I'm going to go over just a little bit of history of Skype. It was founded in early 2003 by Niklas Zenström and Janice Fries and a team of software developers. Initially, Skype was called Sky Peer-to-Peer. They eventually abbreviated it to be Skyper, but whenever they tried to register the domain names in 2003, they found out that Skyper had already been registered. So they dropped the R and it became Skype. So in April 2003, Skype.com and Skype.net domain names were registered. And also in August, the first public beta version was released. In 2005, eBay purchased Skype for $2.6 billion. In 2006, their registered users reached 100 million. They released a version for Macintosh, and then they also released a new version for Windows. 2007 was kind of an interesting year for Skype because they released some new features. Skype Find, Skype Prime, which is actually a version that you can pay for that gives you more tools within Skype, and then Send Money, which allows users to send money back and forth through PayPal. However, in August of 2007, they experienced a system-wide crash labeled Patch Tuesday, where Skype users were unable to connect to the full Skype network in many countries because that was a result of a Windows patch reboot, so people weren't able to log in any longer. In 2008, Skype went under some tumultuous times. They had significant leadership turnover. And eventually they named Josh Silverman the CEO in February of 2008. But they were also at this time experiencing decelerated growth and slow product development. At this time, Zenström and Fries departed the company, who were the ones who originally developed Skype. And the leaders at that time decided that it was a good thing to go ahead and look at their marketing and change some things up. And one of the things that really helped bring Skype into the public view was Oprah started using it to talk with home viewers from the show. And we were also starting to see more of it with network news stations. They were using it to communicate with their journalists in the field. In 2009, they saw the fruits of their labor with the marketing, and they were adding 380,000 users daily. And they also launched the iPhone and Android platforms with the increased use of handheld devices. In 2010, they began integration into internet-connected televisions from Panasonic, Samsung, and Sony. And then in 2011, the big giant Microsoft purchased Skype for $8.5 billion, which was 32 times Skype's operating profits. So this is a brief history of Skype. If you want to know more, there's a ton of it online. And I'll turn you over to Manny.
Coming to the working of Skype, it consists of two machines in the network, like an operating host and a supernode. And the operating host is a computer at the regular user who has the app installed. And the supernode is the end part of the ordinary host. And the supernode must connect to the ordinary host, and it automatically registers itself with the Skype login server, which is successful, and the app and the all IP addresses and the login information and passwords are saved in the login server. Coming to the Skype integration with other technologies like Apple technology and Microsoft technology and Facebook. Coming to the Apple technology, it allows you to call like video calls like iOS bring chat, address book, and file sharing and status updates. Unlike FaceTime in the app like in iPhone, it allows to call desktops and on MacBooks and PCs and checks on their computer. And Apple is trying to bring Apple is trying to bring iOS device and Mac into the Skype-like services. And coming to the Skype to Windows Phone, as it is owned by the Microsoft company, every Windows Phone consists of a Skype app in it. And coming to the next point in that, integrated with the Xbox Live, used to talk each other with during games. And Microsoft is planning to bring Skype into the Bing search engine tool, and in that a user can get a Skype credits of 60 minutes for free calling time. And coming to the Facebook technology, and Skype introduced like Facebook video chat, which includes the group chats and everything. And this feature will let users chat with multiple friends once selecting add friends to chat. Like the right side down of the Facebook homepage, you will find the add friend chat click button. You can click that, and a lot of people add at a time and chat at a time. And it is a new feature. It can users can add friends that are not online at time, and those friends will receive a summary of chat later if they are offline. Coming to the Skype significance.
Okay, so what is the significance of Skype and how has it really changed the way we communicate? So we looked at two different areas, but one on a kind of a business, a professional side, as well as the personal side. So on the professional side, definitely it has done a lot for communicating among businesses, corporations, organizations, especially those that are global now, that are in all different countries all over the world. So it's much easier now to communicate with those people, and also much cheaper too. Instead of having to make long distance phone calls, now you can do it via Skype for free for the most part. And it's just even that much better when you're having more that somewhat kind of a face-to-face contact with that person while you can view them via video. So a lot more companies have gone this route. They hold maybe online meetings, video conferencing, so it's much easier for them to do that. And the significance of it being for business use is that, you know, that employee can do it anywhere in the world or anywhere where they're at, if they have a laptop or their smartphone, or of course they have internet access. So sitting in the airport waiting for a plane, you know, they have business to conduct, they can still do that there instead of having to wait 17 hours before they get back into the States or whatever it is. So definitely things can happen on a real-time basis now more for this. Also other professional use, we're seeing it more and more now used is recruitment. We have employers even here at Eastern that have come and used it, or not come here obviously, that have been using Skype as a means to do some interviews. So we had one company that just started doing that this last spring. We had students come into the office. We set up the Skype with the employer. We have laptops that have webcams on them, so it was easy for them to do that. There was a little bit of a lag delay, of course, with video and how it is, but so it's not quite as effective as a face-to-face interview. So it's not the ideal thing to do, but it is definitely much more cost-effective for a lot of employers that are going that route, especially if they have to do a lot of recruitment that's very far away. So it's a great way then for them to at least make that first connection with candidates that way. Also, we're seeing a lot more in the classroom, especially in the K through 12 grades. I know a lot of teachers love to use it to connect with, other countries. I mean, how great is it for a group of students from the United States to, almost travel to another country to find out more about their culture and what's going on in classrooms over there. So I know a lot of them are doing virtual field trips that way. Pen pal projects, things like that, a guest lecturer maybe, or somebody who wrote a book. The author will actually then read to them via Skype, so it's just a great way to offer that interactive learning, make it a little bit more enhanced. Personal use, definitely. I know for me, I use it not a lot, but every once in a while with my son who's away at college, so it's great for me to be able to see him. We call a lot and text a lot, but it's still just nice and kind of puts my peace of mind at rest, knowing that I can actually see his face, know he's okay. But those are kind of things that I know a lot of parents, family, friends will use Skype for, is just, again, just another level to make that connection with that person. We've heard a lot of stories about the military or people who obviously are working in other countries that can make those connections with their family and friends. Just like in here, I know we always hear a lot of stories about military members being able to actually be there virtually for the birth of their children via Skype, or going to a wedding or something like that virtually. I actually just read something where even funeral homes now are implementing this technology for those people who want to actually be there at the funerals of loved ones via Skype. So something that's definitely being involved in much more in our personal lives. Okay. And then I'll turn it over.
Some of the Skype legal issues that are faced are the privacy issues. Anonymity is a facade. There's a encryption algorithm that they say is supposed to make everything anonymous, even if most Skype users don't even use their real name and their username. But it is possible to put a watermark and trace it. Skype sends traffic even when it is turned off. Skype has a backdoor built into it, which means that it can update even when you're not connected. Others can listen in on conversations. This it hasn't happened yet here, I don't think so, but there are reported cases in Eastern Europe where it was developed. Communications assistant for law enforcement. FCC wants Skype to participate in wiretapping of FBI, and they don't have phone lines, so they say that they don't have to. Patent issues. eBay owns patents for peer-to-peer technology and just ownership. Pros: communication opportunities, free service and download, ease of access. The cons are privacy, quality, and security. Quality, you already know. Skype doesn't have the best quality for video or sound, but they're slowly improving. The future trends, hopefully you can access full HD and use it in online classrooms as a permanent fixture. Average of 300 million minutes of Skype video calls made daily. Over 663 million registered users. Milestone in 2012, 32 million people signed on to Skype at the same time. A passing fad or a wave of the future?
That was my question. Any relation between this and video conferencing at all?
Yes.
What is the relation?
It's used in the same manner, just a different company.
So same principles but different company.
Yep.
Video conferencing started before Skype, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Other question. There are 3 questions to go. Yes.
Is there a difference in the quality of the video associated with Skype versus video conferencing? Because video conferencing is profit-based. I mean, when I was in business, we had a video conference. We knew we were dishing out a lot of money every time, but Skype is free. Is that what we're seeing, that money is affecting the quality of the video?
Yeah, I don't really have any idea. I mean, I would almost think that could be possibly a reason. I don't know, like, well, I was thinking like the go-to meetings, but those are not necessarily always video, but I guess they can be. I don't know that I've really experienced any of those, but yeah, those seem to have a little better quality, definitely sound quality. I don't know so much about the video, but yeah, I don't know. It could be the reason.
Yes, another question.
How does Skype make its money? If it's a free service, like I downloaded it once. You want to do it?
Skype does offer services that you have to pay for.
They have advertisers.
Advertising.
and for calling them, we have to pay for certain little cost.
And you can call a landline, and that's also one of the services that you have to pay for.
Landline or mobile across
Okay.
the board.
Okay. Another question?
No.
Yes. Yes.
Actually, the video calling which we see in Google Chrome and Facebook, like as you said, so is it the Skype technology which they use? Because the video conferencing quality which we get in Google Chrome and Facebook is better than the Skype. I mean, I'm talking about the free version. It's better than the Skype. So is it the same technology or the new one?
Well, they own their own patent to the technology that they do have, so it's slightly different in the manner that it was put together. The encryption algorithms using IRS and whatnot. But basically it does the same thing, just in a different manner.
The streaming is the same like Skype or different streaming, or is technology is streaming or what?
It's streaming video.
So Skype could be streaming. Okay. Okay. Another question. Yes.
I'd like to comment on this. Like in China, the usage of Skype is banned because they are not sharing the IP address, it seems. And during the 27/11 attacks, like Mumbai attacks, like an hostage crisis, the terrorists used the Skype technology to communicate with the on time with the other persons. Like since it is a potential threat, I don't know why they are not accessing the IP address to the other countries. Like only some countries in Europe, they are allowing the IP address to scan for the federal agencies.
Like the main server is in the Denmark, and Skype has their own policies to share the information. So that's the reason.
Other questions? Okay, why don't we give them a hand?
released a version for Macintosh, and then they also released a new version for Windows. 2007 was kind of an interesting year for Skype because they released some new features. Skype Find, Skype Prime, which is actually a version that you can pay for that gives you more tools within Skype, and then Send Money, which allows users to send money back and forth through PayPal. However, in August of 2007, they experienced a system-wide crash labeled Patch Tuesday, where Skype users were unable to connect to the full Skype network in many countries because Skype is an online communication tool that can be used with any device that has internet access, desktop computers, laptops, smartphones, and even televisions. You can communicate via voice, video, or instant messaging, and it is a free download. I'm going to go over just a little bit of history of Skype. It was founded in early 2003 by Niklas Zenström and Janice Fries and a team of software developers. Initially, Skype was called Sky Peer-to-Peer. They eventually abbreviated it to be Skyper, but whenever they tried to register the domain names in 2003, they found out that Skyper had already been registered. So they dropped the R and it became Skype. So in April 2003, Skype.com and Skype.net domain names were registered. And also in August, the first public beta version was released. In 2005, eBay purchased Skype for $2.6 billion. In 2006, their registered users reached 100 million. That was a result of a Windows patch reboot, so people weren't able to log in any longer. In 2008, Skype went under some tumultuous times. They had significant leadership turnover. And eventually they named Josh Silverman the CEO in February of 2008. But they were also at this time experiencing decelerated growth and slow product development. At this time, Zenström and Fries departed the company, who were the ones who originally developed Skype. And the leaders at that time Hi, everyone. We are going to talk about the technology of Skype tonight. My name is Ryan Bosky-Cox.
Debbie Ensley.
Mani Valuru.
Wesley Smith.
Okay. Has anybody in here ever used Skype? Wow, lots of people. So you guys already know what we're going to talk about a little bit anyhow.